What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Action Comics, the Doomsday Special. Now, we all know who Doomsday is, the living embodiment of death, destruction, and evolution. But in the wake of Dark Crisis and Lazarus Planet, Doomsday finds himself now a king. He sits upon a throne of skulls across a river of blood. He holds court over the demons that swarm in the depths of hell. And now he may have found his way back to the land of the living. And to stop his return, it will take the likes of Martian Manhunter and Supergirl. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Kara having a nightmare. Now, she was raised on Krypton. Their culture was one of science. There were old gods, remembered from times beyond, but they were not worshipped. They were remembered as myths and fairy tales. Krypton had no heaven, it had no hell, and yet they still had their devil. That, of course, is Doomsday. Picking up a little bit later, we have Clark and Kara who are sitting down having a conversation. They talk about the urban truths that were on Krypton, about the myths that had existed. Doomsday was one of those. The great sin of Krypton, one that they could never escape. But for her, this was like a campfire story. For Clark, this was very much real. For Superman, he has fought actual gods. He has been trapped in time, tortured on Warworld, had his son stolen by an evil parallel universe version of himself. But if he's being honest, for his body and soul, there has been few darker moments than trading punches back and forth with that monster, knowing that if he didn't kill it before it dropped him, this would all be over, having nothing left in the tank whatsoever. And then everything went black. During Lazarus Planet, Doomsday tried to return, tried to regrow his body from Metropolis's own memory. And we see the concern and worry over Supergirl's face. As the super kids come running into the room, interrupting this conversation, Kara heads out. Thinking on all of this, that is when Martian Manhunter shows his face. And he has come to let her know that he accidentally sent her a nightmare. He received a message, a psychic code, one that he didn't understand because it was in Kryptonian. Before it faded away, he had to send it somewhere to someone who might be able to translate it. And after everything that Clark had gone through, he didn't want to have to worry Superman, so he sent it to Supergirl, having the misfortune of creating a psychic connection with Doomsday the last time Martian Manhunter had encountered him. He didn't want to expose Superman to that, to drag his agonies at that monster's hand. But if he is sending psychic messages, he might be attempting to return to existence once again. Trying to figure out where Doomsday is exactly, Martian Manhunter connects to her. He touches her forehead, and with a hand reaching out, almost instantaneously, the two of them are transported. They have been brought into the depths of hell. And when Kara sees that some innocent souls are being tortured, she wastes no time going to kick some demon butt. But when she tries to save this soul, the ground around her grabs her feet and the soul itself holds her in place. And then that is when they hear the rumbling. Two demons being ripped apart by the likes of Doomsday. The demons down in hell, they speak of him in whispers. They refer to him now by King Doomsday. As Doomsday makes his way towards Martian Manhunter and Supergirl, this is where Two Hands come in and pick them up, because today they have a meeting with the devil, also known as the First of the Fallen, the Lord of Hell, and the most powerful being in all of hell. Now, the First of the Fallen has brought them here today to have a discussion. The reason that hell even exists is because humans believe in it. Doomsday, he is upsetting the balance of hell. Belief in this realm is everything. And if the damned believe that Doomsday is a king, he shall be so, and thus he can do anything. If enough of them believe that he can do this, if he is king, he can leave this place and walk amongst the living once more. And it is his psychic tether to Martian Manhunter which allowed him to find a gateway that would allow him back to Earth. The belief of the damned in him is what is opening the door, and so it won't be long before it is wide enough for him to step through. But if he were to be defeated, none would believe him to be the king of hell. And as the champions of the First of the Fallen, he would grant them something special. Something that would be able to fight against Doomsday. An armor powerful enough to hold back the beast. The First of the Fallen is asking them to fight his fight. But if the First of the Fallen were to put on his armor, if the heavens knew that he was ready for war, for him, it would be a delight. For the heroes, not so much. But he doesn't think that he is ready for that just of yet. And they don't want Doomsday returning to Earth. Reluctantly and against her wishes, Supergirl, she makes a deal with the devil. Doomsday going to walk through that doorway only to have Martian Manhunter intercept him. And followed close behind is Supergirl sporting her new armor. An armor forged from shells long before the First of the Fallen had arrived. In a time that was not or could not be. Sewn together with the hatred of the most despicable damned this place has to offer. Kara can feel those souls clasping onto her, powering her. If she were just a tad more corruptible, she would become a soldier of hell. But she battles against Doomsday, and the damned watch, with Martian Manhunter just getting thrown around like a rag doll. The real fight is Doomsday and Supergirl. While this battle happens, Martian Manhunter reaches out to all the damned. He tries to find any hope inside of them, hoping that connecting them all together, talking to them might be able to close the gate. Because if they do not believe in Doomsday, if he can use their hope, then they might be able to win. But the damned have no hope. That doesn't stop them from coming to the doorway. While Doomsday and Supergirl continue their battle, one by one, the damned come over to the doorway and they stand in front of it. They pile on top of one another. 1, 10, a dozen, becoming a swarm. And with the damned piling up at the doorway, they create an impenetrable wall, fortifying themselves and ensuring that Doomsday cannot escape. By the time that Doomsday sees this, it is already too late. Supergirl pretty much knocked out in his hands. By the time he gets to the door, he sees that there is nothing he can do. When he turns around to go finish off Supergirl, he sees that she is gone. All the demons, all the damned, they no longer believe him to be King Doomsday. He was tricked and manipulated. He may be strong and powerful, but he was still defeated on this day. And the First of the Fallen, he just watches and smiles. Because the damned, the demons alike, they remember once more who they truly serve. With Martian Manhunter and Kara being returned back to their world, the First of the Fallen returned them to make a fool of Doomsday. They know that Doomsday is still down in hell, but at least today, they won. At least today, the damned came together to give a better life for those on the other side of the door. They gave up their very souls to protect the living, to spare them their hells and their Doomsdays. But down in hell, this is where we see Doomsday punching that wall, punching that made-up flesh of the damned. Because while Doomsday may be at bay currently, his return is inevitable. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely a fun little issue. It was awesome to see the First of the Fallen, to see Kara sporting some super awesome armor, and even then she was getting her butt kicked by Doomsday. Martian Manhunter as well. If it had not been for the damned, Doomsday would have probably escaped hell. But it looks like Doomsday's return is inevitable. It is eventually going to happen, we just don't know when. You know, and it's really hard to reuse a character like Doomsday. One that was so powerful he was able to take on Superman. It's hard to reuse this character without diluting him or diluting Superman. Because if people can easily beat Doomsday, then this means that they are as powerful or more powerful than Superman. But I like the way that this played out. You have the First of the Fallen, who could very likely and very willingly go and take out Doomsday, but he doesn't want to be seen by the heavens as putting on his armor that he's ready for war. If they see that he is ready for war, then they might come and try to start war. He's not in a position where he is ready to do that just of yet, and so he has others doing his bidding. It's not often that the First of the Fallen makes an appearance, so it is nice to see him around. But obviously, this is not the last that we'll see of him or Doomsday. They are coming. In what form and what shape is going to be very interesting, but the Kryptonians better get ready, because Doomsday is just on the horizon. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, if you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Action Comics. Go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you're unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.